And let's take a deep breath. Another deep breath, this time through your heart. And this breath, breathing love through your heart. Feeling settled in your chair. Feel it supporting you so you can truly relax. Release those strong muscles throughout your body and give them some time off. Allow your hands to open. Bring your thoughts back to your breath. And in this moment, we find our oneness with all beings on planet Earth and beyond. That even in the spiritual dimension, we are one with our loved ones, our guides, the masters of all time, Spirit itself. And we invite the heart of Saint Francis to be with us today as we remember this prayer. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow peace. Let me sow love. Let me be love. I am love. Where there is injury, let me so pardon. Let me sow forgiveness. I forgive. Where there is doubt, let me sow faith. Let me be faith. I believe. Where there is despair, let me sow hope. I have hope. I am hope. Where there is darkness, let me sow light. I bring light. I am light. Where there is sadness, let me sow joy. May I be joy. I choose joy. O Divine Master, grant that I may seek not so much to be consoled as to console. I am a consoler. May I seek not so much to understand. No, may I seek not so much to be understood, but rather to understand. I am an understander. May I seek not so much to be loved as to love. I am love. It is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned. It is in dying to the self that we awaken to eternal life. This is the truth of our being. And now we let it be. We breathe deeply, sensing the room around us, feeling that peaceful presence of divine love within and without, and we are grateful. Amen. How do you feel? Are you awake out there? Grateful to have this time together. As I mentioned Initially, today is the first day of Advent, which is a 4-week season prior to Christmas. On the Christian calendar, this is the time where we start to prepare our hearts for the birth of the Christ. And I thought we'd come in through a side door this year as we approach Christmas, using this prayer of St. Francis that I just went through with you in meditation. And this prayer is, to me, just a perfect example of practical Christianity. It's really just a demonstration of the kind of life that Jesus lived. And so I think of them joined together when I think of this prayer. He was a teacher, a way shower for us in unity. We see him demonstrating, being an expression of the Christ. He awakened to his Christ nature. And throughout his adult life or his ministry, we might say, he was trying to show us how to awaken to that Christ nature and to reveal the many divine qualities that we always hold within our heart. We're just not usually aware of it. So when we give ourselves some practical tools to use, it helps us become more aware. And I'm trusting that as we come to Christmas, we're going to be more awake to that presence of the Christ within because we understand how that Christ behaves. And I'm going to just take this prayer of St. Francis a little bit at a time. And we're going to start today with this section up here on the screen. It says, Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Now, I realize that you're going to hear the word sow in here a few times. And if you read the prayer, you'll see the word sow is spelled S-O-W. What does that mean? Planting seeds. Sounds like the other word sow, S-E-W. Next slide, please. We're looking at a sewing machine. So whether you're thinking in this prayer that I am sowing seeds and growing things, or I'm sewing torn fabric together, both of them work for us today. I just like the picture of the sewing machine. I just didn't want to confuse you. But let's begin with the first line of this prayer. Make me an instrument of your peace. That's probably one of the most important words in that prayer. Make me an instrument of thy peace or your peace, not mine. I know when I'm in charge of my peace, it doesn't always look all that great. Peace for me can be nothing on my to-do list, nobody bothering me. I know that peace for my dad was stop kicking that ball on the roof. As 5 kids, I can understand him getting a little uptight about that. Having 5 kids, we were constantly outside making racket and inside too. Don't worry about that. But that's not the peace that we're talking about. Make me an instrument of thy peace, of God's peace. What might God's peace be like? Do you have some kind of a definition for that? You just want to share? Harmony? Yeah, that's a good word for peace. Joyful. Say it again. Serene. Yeah, there's this, it's almost like, if we can remember this, there's like a well in us that just goes on forever. And we can go deeper and deeper into that well where there is just more pure calm. But it's more than a quiet thing. We actually use the word silence in unity as a word not absent of sound, but more importantly, it's a state of consciousness that you arrive in where you are one with God. When your human ego gets out of the way and you're purely aware of your oneness with God, that is peace. And that's always waiting for us if we will look for it, if we will learn how to do it. So the peace of God is serene, it's harmony, it's love, really, because love is all about things working together in harmony and finding that deep, quiet place in our hearts. The question is, how do we know how to get there? You are pulled there. Your higher self, your Christ nature will pull you if you will listen and follow. I was listening to, news radio. Sorry about that. But they were interviewing a woman. It was probably on Black Friday, where they were saying, are you planning on going out shopping? And the woman said, you know what? I'm over that. I don't feel the need to rush out into all that craziness just because it's Black Friday. There are always sales. I will always find good deals. I don't need to go out on the day when total chaos is happening all around me. I'd rather just go when it feels good. I thought, this woman is a unity woman if I ever heard one. She was plugging into that call of her heart to connect with that peace within. And it's something that is calling all of us. Did you know that Unity's main teaching is there's only one presence and one power in the universe and in our lives, the all-loving goodness of God, which we forgot to say today. Sorry about that. We'll get that up here on the screen in a minute. But it's an opportunity for us to lean in more to our heart than into what the world says should give you peace. There's another psalm up here on the screen from Psalm 119 that says, abundant peace belongs to those who love your law, God. Nothing makes them stumble. So look at that again. Abundant peace belongs to those who love your law, and nothing makes them stumble. Wow, what a weird thing to say. What kind of law would bring you peace? Why would any law keep you from stumbling? The law that is spoken of here in Psalms is simply knowing how universal law works. It's that law that Jesus talks about. Let it be done to us as we believe. As we give, we receive. It's that divine law we might call the law of attraction. What we give out, we receive back. When we know that law, understand how it works, and use it on purpose, when we use that law on purpose, we can find peace. We can know peace, abundant peace. There's also a version in Isaiah 26 up on the screen. It says, you will keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on you. So there's part of our guide to knowing our own peace, is to keep our thoughts on spirit, to acknowledge in any moment I am in and as the presence of spirit. And as we keep our thoughts there, we know perfect peace. Why? Because we know there's only one presence working for us. Nothing is working against us. When you know that truth, it will set you free, as Jesus said. When you know that truth, no chaos can set you back. I know that sounds like a tall order, but it's available. How we know our peace. And let's not stop there. The prayer says, make me an instrument of your peace. That Christ Spirit is looking for an opening in our consciousness, an awakening. That's how we become an instrument of peace, is to open up our hearts and minds to an awakened awareness of that presence of the Christ. When Jesus said, blessed are the peacemakers, for they are the children of God, he was reminding us again that, first of all, we all are children of God. And when we know it and live it and express it, we have peace and we create peace. How many of you have been around a peaceful person? Think about it. You must know at least one in your life where when you're with them, they are the presence of peace. They are the children of God. Well, I thought I was a child of God. Yeah, good news. You are a child of God. And people will start to know that when you remember that you are a child of God. When we talk about the Christ child entering the world at Christmas, it was not just Jesus to demonstrate what that's like to be a peacemaker. He came to show us how to do that as well. You have the power within you, and you are blessed to be a peacemaker. There's also a proverb in chapter 12, those who plan peace have joy. Who in the world plans peace? Anyone? I don't get out of bed in the morning and think, okay, now everything I do is going to be peaceful. That rarely happens to me. Anybody else? Those who plan peace have joy. Well, part of the planning process is knowing, one, I can plan it. And then two, making time for it. getting up in the morning, going off by yourself in solitude, quieting yourself down, planning that time where you connect with spirit so that when you're in a stressful situation, the thought will come to you, I can choose peace instead of this. If we don't plan peace first, if we don't sit down in the quiet and connect with our higher self, it's going to be kind of tough when we get into a difficult situation. There's going to be a lot of chaos over this next month. So I'm going to ask you to keep being mindful. I can choose peace instead of this. And that will come to you if you will first remember to make time every day to purposely connect with peace. And then be a peaceful presence for other people around you. You know when they need it. And it's, I don't know about you, but the last thing that makes me peaceful is, now, Kitty, just calm down. How's that go for you guys? Don't you just want to be joyously quiet? No. So let's help others be at peace by first being peace ourselves. And then in their presence, we just take deep breaths. We just slow down the way that we're talking. Our motions are more easygoing. We let go of any expectations of the other person. We'll learn how to do that with this prayer as well. And just let that divine peace that we have already found, because we planned for it, flow through us. It's actually contagious, and people will feel it if you will choose to be it. Make me an instrument of your peace. The next part of the prayer says, where there is hatred, let me sow love. I'm sad that this past week we've had another 2 mass shootings. One in a Walmart store in Virginia, another in a gay club in Colorado. And I don't want to imagine this, but it's possible that in the shooter's mind, he was going into an evil place and ending that evil. And others would look at the shooter going into that place, doing what he did, and saying, we need to end that evil. We need to end that person. Neither one is right, but it's a belief that some of us hold in our heart. And we'd say in Unity that there's not a force of evil. There's not a devil out there making us do anything. We can't blame it on the devil. Flip Wilson told us that, right? Or did he say the opposite? The devil made me do it. Oh, he did blame it on the devil. So Flip, if you're listening, there is only one power, the all-loving goodness of God. You know what? If you know this, I'm not even going to bother with the slide, Christina, because who knows where it is. But if you know our invocation that we normally say on Sundays, will you say it with me? There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. So how in the world do we explain this shooter, these shooters, these many, many, many shooters, these many deaths, if there is no power of evil at work? One of the things we would say is that they're not under control of this evil as a power. They are behaving in an evil way, a descriptive word, an evil way. And Unity has a curriculum from way back when that talks about this. Up here on the screen, it says, all sin, error, evil, and negativity are the result of a lack of true understanding, with or without the accompaniment of malice or violence. Sin and evil are words which refer to any human attempt to negate a divine idea. Let me say that again. Sin and evil are words which refer to any human attempt to negate any divine idea. Take that in for just a minute. I know that no one goes out of their house and with a AK-47 underneath their coat saying, I'm going to go negate a divine idea. No. What they are thinking is, and probably not even aware of it, they've misunderstood their own nature. and believe that they're unloved. They don't know that they believe they're unloved, but the only way that they can get rid of that pain is to deny love to others. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. It's probably not going to, you're probably not going to have an opportunity to meet with the shooters or the families of the victims in your lifetime. But you always have an opportunity to sow love. We need you to take every opportunity to sow love, to be that presence of love, to contradict that misuse of love. When you see it, know that they are loved and you are a presence of that love for them. Because it's only when they will start to really understand they are loved that they can allow others to feel love, to be loved, to even give love to those that he would have otherwise, or she would have otherwise taken their life. So one of the ways that we sow love is to contradict the misuse of it, that when we see it, we give the opposite. We make love shine. And I'm not talking about when a gun is going off, you take cover. But I'm asking you to keep your eyes out for people who appear to feel unloved. Have you ever seen one? Raise your hand if you think you've seen one who appears to feel unloved. Most of you know what I'm talking about. It acts out in a lot of different ways, but I'm going to ask you that if you have the opportunity to do something, to say something, to be something for them that helps them know they are loved. I was reading a story the other day by Wayne Dyer, who was in a gas station, had to go inside the building. The owner of the gas station was arguing with somebody who was trying to get something from the owner, but he was speaking a different language, and the owner didn't understand, so all he could do was get mad. And then there was Wayne, who knows how to be that presence of love, to sow love. And he put his arm around the boy, he was probably a teenager, and he walked him back out to the gas pumps, and it turns out he didn't know how to operate them. So Wayne showed him how to use gas, get his gas into his car. That boy smiled. He felt the love. How simple is that? You didn't even need to know the person to be able to do something like that. Keep your eyes open for opportunities to look for those who appear to feel unloved and offer something, a kind word, even a smile, so that they can feel like they are seen. Plant those seeds of love. You may not always get to see them grow to fruition, but know that they are taking root, if you would be willing to do that. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, let me sow pardon. One of you sent me an email in the last few months, and it was about a Facebook posting that someone had sent or placed up on their Facebook page. And this person from Unity was upset by it and was trying to figure out if she was overreacting or reading too much into it. She didn't want to respond in a way that would step on anyone's toes, so she was looking for some suggestions. Here's what the posting said up here on the screen. It said, for those who don't know, karma, not of God. Praying to the universe, not of God. Feeling someone's energy, not of God. Having positive vibes, not of God. Yoga and Tai Chi, not of God. New Age healing beads, not of God. Mixing the Bible with New Age religion won't get you to heaven. Jesus Christ is the only way, the only truth, and the only life. No man gets to the Father but by him. God is not interested in strange fire. I don't even know what that is. Stop mixing this worldly garbage with the Word of God. So, Kitty, how do you respond to something like that? Just notice in your heart right now what you feel. Here's what I said. I'm guessing the reason this bothers you is because it strikes close to home regarding your own beliefs. A little bit, yeah? slightly like maybe wanting to take offense here? Are you concerned that their words will convince others to think like them or do harm to those who fit this list? Does it seem unjust, unloving, contradictory to how Jesus would respond? Just plain wrong? All of the above? I get it. I felt it when I read that. I felt it. And there's 1,000 things I could say right now, but here's my shortest answer. Let it go. And here's why. Never use the law against yourself. The more you resist, the more power you give it. That's the divine law we're talking about. There's only one power in the universe unless you declare a second. If you make that person a power working against you, you give it power. Their point of view only has power within their own life, unless you give it power in your own life. Nothing and no one can keep you or anyone else from God's good unless you or they let them. Unless your feelings toward them are 100% love, with no need to fix or change, nothing you could say would help them, you, or anyone else, because your energy would be aligned with theirs and simply give it more power. Do you understand that? You know, when we reach out, we think we're going to correct them and make sure that they understand they're wrong and that you're right. But you're doing that with an energy that simply aligns with their problem, with their belief, and therefore you're making it worse. Most often, when we feel resistance to these ideas, it simply tells us we have work to do within our own selves, which is always to look past appearances and see only the presence and power of God at work. So I'm not talking about sticking our heads in the sand. If someone's well-being is truly being threatened, there's a time to take action. But never if we're coming from judgment. That only perpetuates that energy. And here's where I'll stop, because this really could go on for days. Where there is injury, let me so pardon. And one of the ways to do that is to recognize the only power working here is God the good, unless I say otherwise. When I can see God the good here, having nothing to do with their behavior, I'm not saying that God the good is inspiring them to act or speak. I'm just saying that I will direct God's power by what I buy into or what I push back against. So this is my chance to pardon, to not take offense in the first place. The truth is, what needs pardoning is not the person, it's our belief about the person. I'm going to give you guys a chance to ask questions here before we're done today. So if you're about ready to burst, I'm going to give you a chance to burst out loud. So we're talking about pardoning them by really not having taken offense in the first place. The work is within ourselves. And it includes putting our mind back on the one presence, the one force of love in the universe that is here to do its good for me. I don't depend on that person for my good. There is nothing that that person can say that would take my good from me. If I don't receive good from him, there's only infinite channels of God that can be given good to me. So I'm going to look elsewhere. And the ultimate form of pardoning is to be able to say, I'm not taking offense, and mean it. I never took offense in the first place because I know nothing can stand between me and God, the omnipresence of good. That's just a little bit of the can of worms that St. Francis is stirring up for us this month. And I just want you to keep in mind as we work our way towards Christmas that it's always going to be about awakening the Christ within. We celebrate the birth of the Christ in Jesus, and we look for an awakening of the Christ within. St. Francis is going to help us do that. And I'm going to ask you to join me on Tuesday nights online in a Zoom room, and we'll talk a little bit more about Christmas ideas. If this idea of Jesus being an awakened Christ and that we can be too, join me on Tuesday nights in the Zoom room. It's on our event calendar. And we're giving away booklets out here in the front room that we'll be using for those sessions. It's only half an hour long, just a quick kind of inspiration for the Christmas season every week. And if you're watching online, go to the event calendar. There's a link there to download the book from Unity headquarters for free. So that's available. For now, let's just close our eyes for a moment in prayer. Ah, loving Spirit, we open our hearts and minds to be an instrument of perfect peace. We look for opportunities this week. Every time we see hatred, to find a way to plant the seed of love. Every time our feelings get hurt, we offer our willingness to pardon and to continue to return back to truth. There's only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. And so it is. So you're probably wondering what happens next, because this is such a different service, right? I kind of wonder that too. Let's take a moment for an offering. This is our chance to allow that energy of spirit that we know as our tithes, our love offerings, to move through us. And it's an opportunity for us to be an instrument of God's good, knowing that as we give out, it comes back to us. If you're watching online, you can give through our website, unityinnaperville.org, or there's an address up here on the screen on P.O. Box 9733 in Naperville, and the zip is 60567 if you'd like to give in that way. And we are grateful, no matter the amount, how often. Thank you for supporting us and your spiritual community this way. The best way to give is to bless what you give. And so will you say this offering blessing with me here on the screen together? Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am grateful. Thank you. Ushers, will you come, please? So while our ushers are going around, Parker, where's our fabulous microphone? On the seat. Okay. Who wants to be my runner? You want to be my runner, Beth? Because this is your chance to, let it out. If you used to come to the 9 a.m. service before COVID, we took time for people to ask questions or make comments about what they heard today in the message. Just get clarity, share a little bit with each other. So we talked about being peace today. We talked about being love today. We talked about pardoning today. Anything you want to share with us? And Beth will come looking for you with the microphone. Have questions or comments? Kind of in the dark. Don't be shy.
Hi, it's Keith here. I just like the message today. It's very good. Appropriate for this time of year with Advent and coming up Christmas, and I'm grateful to be here, and thank you for the service.
Thank you, Keith. I appreciate that. It is a good message. I like I said, it's like a side door into Christmas, but I thought, why haven't we done this before? Who else has thoughts, questions? How'd you handle that whole, pardoning people when you see something that maybe presses your own buttons? How do you handle loving and denying that people aren't evil? Sorry, you guys on the camera. I traded places. Is that okay?
I just wanted to comment about that Facebook post that you got the email about. I learned a long time ago, just let it go. Don't comment, don't like, don't hate on it. Just let it go.
Thank you.
Thank you for confirming what I'm already doing. Or did you listen to me? Is that how you knew that?
That must have been it, Melinda.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. The check's in the mail. Yeah.
I have to agree with that because I stopped commenting and even clicking on any post that had political views, and they started going away. I don't get them anymore.
I have to say about that, the less attention you give it, the less times things like that will come to your attention. That's part of the divine law, because you're radiating an energy that, let's see, what did I hear that said, because you're upsettable, or because you can be upset because you're upsettable, or they're upsetting you because you're upsettable. That wasn't the word they used. I can't remember what it was, but it's just being mindful of what your energy is. If you are one of those people that just has a chip on your shoulder and you're constantly looking for someone to offend you, my hunch is you are going to find it, because that's the frequency, so to speak, the energy that you are giving out to the world. And the way the divine law works is, okay, let me bring you more of the same. So when you stop letting those kinds of things push your buttons because you know who your true source is, suddenly you'll start to notice that less and less of those people show up in your life, because you're not in alignment with that frequency any longer. That makes sense? Yeah. Other comments, questions? Come on, you guys. This could be fun.
Hi. I have struggled with a certain political figure, and what you said about not giving that person the power is the first thing I've heard that has really kind of resonated with me in a way to not let them bother me anymore. So thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad. Yeah. Not giving them the power. No one can make you, actually, I wrote something and then I think I forgot to say it. That happens a lot. You should see, I saw a picture once of a minister's work on their message was like an iceberg where 99% of the work towards this message was under the water, and you never see it, and you get just this little tiny iceberg. But I'm gonna find this, because I think it's something that that we should hear. Just as no offender can be forgiven without my pardon, no person can offend me without my agreement. No person can offend me without my agreement. It seems like they have the power to upset you, but you're the one. I think the Buddha told the story about, this person, maybe not, maybe a Dalai Lama, but just, with a person who was continually criticizing them, and the response was, thank you. Didn't you hear what I said? And he criticized again. Thank you. Didn't you hear what I said? Thank you. But he would not take the bait, so to speak. And even though he was saying thank you, he also wasn't receiving the gift that this person was giving. It can come out of their mouth all day long. It's only when we start listening to it and believing it, believing what they're saying has power in your life, that's when you're in trouble. So whoever it is, no matter where you are, where there is injury, let me sow pardon. Let me let go. Let me turn to my true source of good and look over there for my heart's desire. Thank you. Anyone else? Thank you for that. That was, I get you.
Just a little historical funny thing. Somebody once criticized Abraham Lincoln, I forget who it was, and he said, so-and-so is usually right.
Yeah, don't take it personally. Don't take it seriously once in a while. And you know what? Sometimes there's those moments where maybe I am wrong. Maybe I do need to change my stand. So just check in with Spirit and just ask, is this relevant? Is this true? Is this something for me to deal with? If not, I let go. I let love. Anything else? Here in the front row, honey.
Hello.
Hi.
I struggle a lot with finding the balance between the part of letting things go and taking action, like for things that are truly like shootings.
Yes.
Like the balance between, obviously you don't just let that go and say, I don't know exactly how to say it, but it's the struggle between where taking action and yet doing it from that place of love. But it's really, really difficult to find that.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
All the time, probably. Yes. So great question. And the one that probably all of you were asking in the background somewhere is, where's the balance? And one of the things I said, I'll try and, let's see. How do I help? And I did mention, you may not be able to go knock on the door of the families of those who were killed by a mass shooter. And you'll probably not have audience with the shooter if they're still alive. What can you do? One of the main things we can do is change the collective consciousness. You can help change the collective consciousness based on what you are holding in your consciousness. Because there's only one consciousness here. And so the number one thing we do on a daily basis is make time to be an instrument of peace. Sit down in the quiet and connect with your source of good, your source of love. So that is your natural frequency that you're living at all the time. And you will have an effect on the people around you. When you are not so quick to judge, but you're more quick to listen, when you're more quick to just be with the person who is struggling in the moment and see who they really are in spirit. Maybe they're the one that was hurt, but maybe they're the one that was doing hurt. Either way, there's still a Christ presence within them, believe it or not. It's our job to see it. That's what light workers do. They not only express their light, but they see light in others. And as we look for it, we call it forth, because that's divine law. If there's any shred in them of wanting to be an expression of divine light, and there always is because there's always spirit in them, then what you're doing is giving your energy to their spiritual energy and helping lift them up. So do it within your own heart, in your own quiet time. Do it with everyone you see, and keep your eyes open for people who especially look like they're hurting. And just be a presence of light and love, of quiet and compassion. You don't have to know how to solve their problems. As a matter of fact, it's better that you don't try, but simply be there for them, because the Christ in them will guide them to their highest good. We just need to create energy with them so that they can get to it. Does that make sense? Still not so much? You got it? Okay, good. Okay, Don, and then we'll finish.
Well, thinking about changing the collective consciousness, I came to a new understanding of be the change you want to see in the world.
That's exactly, yes. Who said that, Don? Gandhi. Yes. Be the change. That's basically being the frequency of love, acceptance, allowing, goodness. And you'll see it. It's a divine law. Can't help but work. That man was plugged in. Thanks for sharing today. I appreciate you having the courage to speak out and ask questions and share your thoughts, because other people will learn from you. So thank you for doing that.